Wahal. Thanks a lot for joining us. Let's see the headlines.
National Security Council orders Defense Headquarters to set up an investigative committee on alleged killings by soldiers in Taraba State.
Nigeria Police Force deploys squad to check all forms of criminality in the southwest geopolitical zone.
Nigeria set to win 2020 FIFA's Under-20 Women World Cup, says Vice President Yemi Oshibajo as FIFA inspection team come calling.
Now, correspondents give us updates on transport and security during Salah celebration.
Due to the increase of the price, so people are not ready to go, some are waiting, so the thing is really delaying us.
The news in details. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State to make a formal presentation to his office on the community's request for the conversion of Modibo Adamawa University of Technology, Yola, to a conventional university for possible consideration.
The president gave the directive while receiving a delegation of Adamawa leaders of thought led by the governor on a courtesy visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
With love and strength and faith. The leaders of thought from Adamawa State were in the State House to express formal appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for the reappointment of some state indigenes into key government positions, as well as the restoration of peace across the land of beauty.
I will be failing in my duty as the Chief Security Officer of Adamawa State not to thank you for the supreme effort you have made to flush out insurgents in the northeast, which is now enjoying relative peace. It is on record that the armed forces of Nigeria responded promptly to Mr. President's order to put down the insurgency, which has been done, except for pockets of isolated attacks on soft targets.
Governor Umaru Fintiri, accompanied by some former governors of the state, elder statesmen, traditional rulers, national and state lawmakers, made a case for the conversion of Modibo Adamawa University of Technology, Yola, to a conventional university. The recent federal government's decision stopping management sciences in specialized institutions like Mautech, he said, has serious implications for the community just emerging from grueling insurgency.
The insurgency and generalized insecurity on the roads has discouraged parents from sending their wards to neighboring conventional university out of fear. To cut a long story short, Mr. President, sir, the stoppage of the popular courses will lead to further underdevelopment of an already educationally disadvantaged, impoverished states, severely devastated by insurgents and insecurity.
The Adamawa community is also soliciting for upgrading of the Federal Medical Center Yola to a teaching hospital, owing to the state's lowest human development indices in respect to healthcare services.
Adamawa is home away from home, to me, as you are all aware.
Describing the meeting as a family gathering, President Muhammadu Buhari said issues relating to education and health, which informed the visit by the community, are in line with the priority focus of his administration as it strives towards achieving social inclusion and collective prosperity for all.
Many of the issues confronting our nation today, especially in the areas of insecurity and corruption, are directly or indirectly linked to the decades of underinvestment in education and healthcare. This is not about politics, it is the reality. I have taken note of your requests and recommendations. We shall review and act accordingly.
With the projection that Nigeria's population growth rate will remain amongst the fastest in the world, the president promised to ensure that today's plans by his government must always take into account the needs of tomorrow. He looks forward to working with Adamawa and other state governments towards positively impacting on the lives of Nigerians. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The National Security Council has ordered the Defense Headquarters to set up an investigative committee towards unraveling the circumstances surrounding the killings of 3 police officers and 1 civilian by soldiers in Taraba State.
The council gave a directive after an extraordinary meeting on the nation's security situation presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo once more reports.
The meeting summoned by President Muhammadu Buhari lasted several hours behind closed doors. In attendance were the service chiefs led by the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Defense Intelligence, and a representative of the Inspector General of Police. Others were the National Security Advisor, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, as well as Directors General, Department of State Services, and the National Intelligence Agency. The council, which reviewed the current strategy of managing internal security operations across Nigeria, is convinced that substantial progress has been made in all areas of conflict, as explained by the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar.
We also want to assure Nigerians that the armed forces of Nigeria and security agencies, other security agencies, will continue to work to ensure the security of Nigerians and to also ensure that no individual or group of individuals undermines the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Nigeria.
Members of the National Security Council were, however, worried over the reported incident in Taraba State, which they described as unfortunate, intolerable, and counterproductive. A notorious kidnap kingpin was said to have been arrested by the police, handcuffed, and been conveyed to the police command headquarters in Jalingo when they were allegedly attacked by soldiers who killed 3 policemen, civilian, and got the suspect freed.
A committee will be set up by Defense Headquarters to critically investigate the circumstances that led to the unfortunate incidents in Ibi.
No time frame was given for the completion of the assignment, but the council is assuring the public that appropriate action will be taken on the matter. The National Security Council is also encouraging the armed forces and other security agencies to leverage on technology towards effectively containing the challenges of security confronting the country.
We are looking at other areas of technology that are not currently in use to ensure that we put together all that is required to ensure security of Nigeria and Nigerians.
President Muhammadu Buhari had recently, in a meeting with the Southwest Obas, promised to do whatever it takes within the limits of resources to set Nigeria on the path of peace and prosperity. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Police Force are to constitute joint committee to investigate circumstances that prompted the exchange of fire among officers on duty along the Ibi-Wukari Road in Taraba State. In a statement by Colonel Sagir Musa, Acting Director, Army Public Relations, the panel will be headed by the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Criminal Investigation Department. The Nigerian Police Force is deploying a specially trained and strategically equipped squad to check all forms of criminality in the southwest geopolitical zone.
Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations Abdul Majid Ali, who disclosed this in Ado-Ekiti, explains that the move is to fortify security in the area. Kola Adebobuyi has the reports.
Identifying the prevalence of criminal engagements by some men of the underworld, which have been hindering the needed growth in the land, necessitated the tour of the State Command by the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, Abdul Majid Ali, on the orders of Inspector General of Police, to share information with officers and men of the force on how best to curb criminality, especially in the southwest region.
And so the same will apply in the southwest. We're sending a strong team here that will work with all the commissioners of police and ensure that there's security and there's peace. People sleep with their 2 eyes closed and move freely.
The host commissioner of police, Amba Asugo, and the AIG Zone 11 Oshogbo, who accompanied the DIG, corroborated efforts of the police management in playing supportive role being the eyes of the public to ensure that crime is reduced to the barest minimum in the country. In Ado-Ekiti, Kola Adebobuyi, NT News.
The FCT Police Command has paraded 48 suspects for various criminal offences.
Parading the suspect, Commissioner of Police Balachi Roma disclosed that the suspects were arrested from across the 6 area councils and neighboring states. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu has details.
Suspects were arrested for offences such as criminal conspiracies, armed robbery, kidnapping, drug abuse and peddling, theft, housebreaking, one-chance robbery, car theft, and cultism, amongst others. Amongst those paraded are 3 women, Rita Matthew, Patience Ishaya, and Faith Gaius, belonging to an allegedly suspected syndicate of one-chance robbery between Plateau State and the FCT.
As we did 3 for back, they will carry 1 passenger for back. They carry 1 passenger, the person will sit down near door. Because say, driver, please, this place is too tight. Then you get 1 person with the front, you carry back, go cover your face. If you cover your face, then the driver go open back. If you see money, you go carry.
Also paraded are 8 others, ages 19 to 23, for violent cult rivalry, which led to the death of 1 person.
As we come outside from the house, when we saw them, fire shot, and he got one of them, but he died.
After Johnny died, I know say no gain inside.
Similarly, Sheriff Halif was also arrested in Lokoja, Kogi State for allegedly using toy gun to rob his unsuspecting victims of their vehicles.
I was arrested in connection with robbery and possession of vehicles. I needed a fast cash, and that was all.
Commissioner of Police Balachi Roma disclosed that the command has made adequate security arrangements to fortify the FCT ahead of the forthcoming Eid celebration.
The command has continued to be innovative and proactive in its approach to crime fighting. The command has continuously reviewed its policing strategy to meet up with emerging security concerns.
The Commissioner of Police appealed to residents to assist the command with vital information to enable it deliver on its mandate of providing watertight security in the FCT. In Abuja, Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Still on security matters, key players have called for improved policies, monitoring and national legal and regulatory framework for effective operations of private security companies in the country.
This was the submission of a launching of baseline study reports on private security governance in Nigeria. Haman Jebani reports.
The Private Guard Act of 1986 gave birth to the proliferation of private security organizations in the country. It came as a direct response to complement the services of public security agencies. According to the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, as of February 2019, there are about 1,110 licensed private security companies operating and about 740 unlicensed private security companies undergoing processing, creating 828,505 employment. To this end, there is urgent need to repeal and replace the Private Guard Act of 1986. So, it is in the light of this that the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, in collaboration with other stakeholders, initiated a research on private security governance in Nigeria in collaboration with Afilo Foundation.
This is coming at a time where I think we really need this, so that we can roll points and forge a way ahead and see how we can improve security in Nigeria.
So don't have some necessary capacity and equipment required. So they have a challenge of funding to improve what they are doing.
The work is set to reform the operating system of private security companies in Nigeria, their training standards, professional development, code of conduct, ethics in line with human rights standards, as well as working conditions, among others.
We are at that stage of our evolution where there's need for the building of proper legal and regulatory frameworks, in order to consolidate private security in Nigeria.
The finding is hope to revolutionize the operation of such private security organizations for optimal security of the country. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has directed Assistant Inspectors General of Police and Commissioners of Police in zones and states commands nationwide to provide an elaborate security arrangement throughout the country to enable Nigerians to have the Eid al-Kabir celebration.
Correspondent Lydia Sampson reports that the IGP's message through the force spokesman, DCP Frankumba, warns that any attempt to take advantage of the celebration to perpetrate crime will not be condoned.
As a journalist, I have seen firsthand the impact of insecurity, having served in Maiduguri, the epicenter of Boko Haram. Trust me when I say the state of being secured, or should I say freedom from danger, is priceless. The necessity to protect and keep all Nigerians free from all forms of danger perhaps informed the resolve by the Nigerian police to collaborate with other security agencies to ensure safety at all Eid grounds and other venues of celebrations during the Eid al-Kabir.
Celebrations like this, some undesirable elements, some hoodlums, and some misguided persons might want to take advantage of the mood of the nation to embark on all kinds of crime. They want to tell them in very clear terms that the Nigerian police force, working in concert with other security agencies and with the good people of this country, have got the capacity and the reach to bring criminals to book wherever they are.
The police is also deploying additional personnel, crime prevention and detection equipment to cover identified and perceived criminal flashpoints. Similarly, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps is deploying personnel to man critical infrastructure across the country, with the Commandant General charging his lieutenants across the country to work in synergy with sister agencies, be civil and diplomatic in dealings with the public. Security agency says intense surveillance and intelligence gathering will be maintained and are seeking public support and cooperation in their areas. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on the network service. We have more news to come, including
more special reports on preparations for Salah ahead. Stay with us.
Watching the news at 10 on the network service of the NTA. The Federal Road Safety Corps says it will not spare any road offender apprehended during the special patrol during the Salah celebration.
Corps Public Education Officer Bisi Kazim made this known during the Salah Motor Park rally in Abuja. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
Sights such as these are quite expected during festivities as people tend to travel to different parts of the country to celebrate with their loved ones. Though many a times reports of accident tends to be part of the story, with some drivers, especially the commercial ones, usually in a hurry to make many journeys with much gain. This they achieve with overspeeding and utmost recklessness on the roads. This time around, in line with the zero tolerance on road crashes agenda of the Federal Road Safety Corps, overspeeding is one of the road offenses the Corps is not taking lightly.
Even the Deputy Corps Marshal, the Corps Marshal himself will be on the road to show the seriousness of the exercise and to equally motivate the people that are already on the road. Once they see the Corps Marshal, they see the Deputy Corps Marshals, all of them on the road, they know that it's a serious business.
With awareness campaigns around the country, over 200 mobile courts have been set up to try road offenders with the use of mobile phones while driving, drivers without licenses, lane indiscipline, drivers with expired and worn-out tires, amongst others.
I think the major challenge is the traffic on the road.
That's the most challenge we have during this festive period.
The Corps will be making use of gadgets and equipment with 736 patrol vehicles, 120 ambulances, as well as 35,000 personnel during the 24 hours patrol, which commences on Friday 9th August to Wednesday the 14th. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
And as Muslim faithful across the country prepare for Salah, commercial motorists have been speaking of low travel volume for the Eid al-Kabir celebration.
Butua Mela visited some motor parks within the FCT and fired in. The situation reports.
Another Salah is here again. It comes with excitement for many Nigerians, especially Muslims who want to maximize the opportunity the Salah holiday offers to travel for reunion with their loved ones. Based on findings, road transport is mostly patronized by Nigerians and convenient for the common man. This perhaps explains why the festive period such as this usually witness heavy vehicular traffic as most Nigerians travel by road. Tanko Moody, a driver at Jabi Motor Park in Abuja, has been in the road transport business for some years. He says passenger volume during the Salah is not encouraging compared to previous years.
Last year's Salah is better than this year. This year, everybody's complaining, no money.
Some passengers feel the increase in fares for some locations is a factor that could affect travel volume this Salah.
Due to the increase of the price, so people are not ready to go, some are waiting, so the thing is really delaying us. We're supposed to be moved since, but we're here more than 2 hours, we couldn't move.
For the past 3 hours now, I've been around here, but actually it's very difficult for people to even travel safe.
For officials of the National Union Road Transport Workers, caution is their watchword this season.
We do meeting with our driver, should not speed too much. There's no carry overload, should not put money for passenger.
Fuel is everywhere, and when you leave Abuja, you travel to Barrow State in the Federation. You see the price of the petroleum is the same. It's not as before.
So what we have been doing is to make sure that we sensitize people ahead. We do motor park rallies, go to institutions, mosques, churches, to sensitize them on how to drive during this period.
Drivers and passengers alike are enjoying to be safety cautious during and after the Salah holiday. In Abuja, Butua Mela, NTA News.
Eid al-Kabir celebration is synonymous with ram sacrifice, and that is why at times like this, the ram market springs up in places where they don't usually exist.
Kugbo ram markets on the outskirts of Abuja is, however, one of the regular markets, but sellers this year lament the low prices and patronage. Bosede Ebo reports.
This is the season of ram. This is Kugbo Ram Market, and preparation of this year's Eid Kabir celebration is at top gear. Although it has been a wet day, it's obviously not an hindrance for both the sellers and buyers of ram, which plays a significant role in this festival, commemorating Prophet Ibrahim's devotion to Allah. These rams are of different sizes, and the prices varies. An average ram of this size before this season cost between 25 and 28,000 naira, but now sells for 30 to 40,000 naira and above. 32-year-old Bello Usman has been in the ram business for 18 years. He explains the reason for price changes at times like this.
Kafin lokacin sallah za mu iya sayar da shi 25,000.
Before this season, this size goes for 25,000, but with the festive season, this goes for 28 to 35,000. This one goes for 45,000, and the bigger ones go for 50 to 70,000 and above.
Gani wannan ya kai 45,000, sannan da kai kuma site din da su kuma sun kai irin 50, 60, 70 har na 100 ma.
You know, say every year people they talk say it's expensive, it's too expensive. But we are selling. We know say we are selling very cheap now.
One thing is, however, disturbing both buyers and sellers: the persistent rains, which has hindered business. While the sellers complain of low patronage, the buyers cry over hiking price.
It's not nice at all for buyers, you know. But for the sellers, I'm sure they have their reasons, you know. But for us, I can tell you it's not convenient at all.
It's still the same thing. The same as we bought last year, the same thing. Everything's okay.
Well, we've heard from both the sellers and the buyers. The weather notwithstanding, there is optimism of more transactions as the clock ticks closer to Salah Day. In Abuja, Bossede Able, NTA News.
The federal government says the country is ready to host and win the 2020 FIFA's Under-20 Women World Cup competition if it eventually gets the nod of the World Football ruling body.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo gave the assurance when he received a FIFA inspection team in Nigeria to inspect facilities for the proposed hosting rights of the tournament. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is elated about the prospect of Nigeria hosting the tournament, says the federal government is throwing its weight behind the Nigerian Football Federation in its bid to host the FIFA Under-20 Women World Cup competition in Nigeria, stating that the country is fully prepared to do all that is required for the adequate comfort of guests and fans. Hosting it, the Vice President says, is satisfying the need of millions of Nigerians who have over the years demonstrated uncommon love for football. Amaju Pinnick, President of the Nigerian Football Federation and member of the Confederation of African Football, says the country is determined to win the competition this time around after several attempts.
It's not just doing it, but we're also trying to push the narrative about Nigeria being a very safe country, being hospitable, being indeed the biggest economy in Africa. And you know, once this bid is granted, FIFA is going to invest millions upon millions of dollars. We want to leave this trophy and hand over to the president as a gift to the president for supporting us. So we're going to throw everything into the ring by God's grace and ensuring that we achieve that fate.
Speaking on what the tournament is going to cost Nigeria if it eventually wins the hosting right, Amaju Pinnick says beyond what FIFA will invest, a number of marketing windows are provided that the country is going to explore. He explains that the Nigerian Football Federation is going to come out with a lot of transparency and probity to the end in trying to reduce costs.
It's about the future of Nigerian football. It's about the future of our youth. It's about the future of our female players.
Nigerians' chance of hosting the tournament became brighter after India and South Korea withdrew their bids, and this inspection of facilities was to determine if Nigeria could successfully host the tournament. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 on NTA.
More reports ahead, including special reports on a dangerous companion and much more. Stay with us.
No, the one I even brought here, I've not even checked. I've heard, but I've never done anything about it.
This is NTA News 24, broadcasting from Abuja. You can watch us.